laning thing that I saw that Urgent actually unfortunately didn't do, but I think it could provide some really valuable learning experience for everyone. Stop. Alright, right there. Let's see. Okay. So, in this particular matchup, what Urgent did really, really well is he dragged the melee creeps over just to focus down this range creep. Perfect. Love it. You take a lot less harass from the OD since, again, I mean, obviously he's ranged your melee, but it also forces a trade, and the trade is your range creep for his, if he does it correctly. So, right here, you can see, well, I'll just show you what Urgent does. So this is what Urgent does. Now, what you should have done, and what the correct play is, and it's so little, but this is something that everyone can learn, is that when you have this position right here, where, okay, the enemy mid has spells like OD, it's just the nature of his hero, that can banish you and secure range creeps. The way to play around this right here is by just walking forward and hitting this dire range creep instead of being around this your range creep. Because what this does is it allows him to banish you, get this last hit, and back off and hit his range creep to deny it from you. If you walk towards his range creep, you create a dilemma. Either he can get this last hit on the range creep and then won't be there in time to deny the his allied creep from you, or he can deny this one and not get the range creep on the Radiant side. So this is an example of just something very, very, very tiny, which surprisingly has a big impact, because now, because he gets these two last hits, instantly he's going to have a huge level advantage early on. I mean, just by nature of doing that, he's literally doubling up his experience already for this first wave. OD's going to hit level 2 way before Dragon Knight will, and he gets a lot more gold as well. The last hit on the range creep is the most important early on, and the last hit on his is also just another little bonus. So, this lane doesn't go great for him, but it doesn't go badly. But if this was a really, really good player on the OD, this is just the start of, like, dominating a lane, basically. But it can be avoided. And so these kind of things are what I'm talking about by, like, the nitty-gritty of laning mechanics and what we can start getting into if you guys really are interested in that. Correcting these tiny, tiny little posture errors or things that we really need to reconsider doing while in the lane. When to pull, how to pull, how many creeps should I pull, like, while trying to do it. What conditions do I push the lane? What conditions do I create an equilibrium? How do I harass people without messing up the equilibrium? Just things like that, which kind of, I tend to notice come naturally to me, doesn't necessarily mean the same thing for everyone else. Or it might just be things that you've never even heard of. Forcing range creep trades is a big one in these matchups like DK versus OD, or like Ember versus OD. Ember Spirit is another big one that's really, really good at forcing range creep trades. And that's because he can just pop his Flame Guard, and generally it's almost impossible for anyone to, like, last hit better than he can when that range creep ticks down. And it also, he can pull the melee creeps much, much easier onto his own and get you positioned on the other side of the river to make that whole, facilitate that whole thing and facilitate a bad trade for you if you play Ember Spirit correctly. But that was just one of the really little things that I noticed he didn't do. Like, he started the beginning of the play, like, he knew that he should pull against OD, but he didn't fully comprehend why he needed to pull. And so I just wanted to take a second to really explain that to everyone. Does that make sense? Is there any other questions?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
It's just like basically like playing around the range creeps. It's smarter.
Right, because again, like I've been saying, it's your first objective in the lane, right? The melee creeps are important, but really the thing that should be focused on the most, and the most important thing, is securing that range creep in any way possible. So some ideas is like skipping Dragon Blood level 1. I don't really think that you need it per se, especially when you've got plenty of tangos and stuff like that, but Breathe Fire can kind of, that extra 90 damage nuke to go along with right clicks can really help facilitate these kind of things. Plus, a level in Breathe Fire, if you're able to manage, like, hit everything at once, helps push the wave underneath the mid tower and clear out that wave earlier, so you get level 2 faster. Just tiny things to consider, but I wanted to, like, take a second just to basically go over, he did, like, half the play right, and then messed up the other half, but he could be level 2 right now if he didn't do that. So it's things like that that we'd be going over if we were to go into like the nitty-gritty of laning. And I'm more than happy to do that with you guys, but I think it will get very, very tedious. And there's going to be a lot of like repetition and kind of saying, okay, well, you need to do this differently, or you should be pulling now, or hit aggro, or pressure this guy like at this very second. And it's going to be hard to like, it's really hard for me to convey why without having like a 5-minute discussion on, okay, well, since all these range creeps are super low and you just used Blood Right, for example, like now is not really the time to like be walking at him. But just like stuff like that. So I don't know really how much you guys want to go into that. So that's kind of my question to you. Like, are you interested in that? Is that something you want to go over, just like laning nitty gritty, or is that just a little bit too much?
I think maybe at least one session on it would be helpful, just to like get some of the core ideas out. We don't need to spend like weeks on it, but
sure,
that's my opinion at least.
Or even maybe do it in pieces.
Yeah,
like do a position, a practice, right? Like focus on nitty gritty position 1. I guess I don't know how much it. I'm sure it is kind of different for each position, so.
Oh, definitely, so absolutely.
Like, overwhelmed with like that nitty gritty information,
right? And that's kind of what I'm afraid of. Like, and
break it down a little bit.
The other, and it's like the other thing is obviously it changes a lot, like you said, for whichever position you're really going in. Mid is generally going to be one of the more aggressive ones, especially when you have a good matchup, or it's going to be like absolutely different. Like, what's a good example? Like Ember Spirit versus Huskar, or like something like TA versus Huskar, or something like that. Sometimes the answer to properly laning is just don't lane, or cut the wave behind the tier 2, and, well, what are you going to do now? Like, it's but you can't do that as, like, carry, or, a lot of times you can on off lane, but it's like supports, for example. So, what I'm saying, and, like, what I'm trying to give you advice on, unfortunately, doesn't always translate to every single lane. So this might be like a time to just do like maybe even like some one-on-one stuff or something, or like 2-on-1, where it's like I take 2 of you in one lane and kind of go over what your objectives are in the lane, how you accomplish that, and what you could be doing better, like as far as controlling the lane and pulling, etc. Just little things like that, because like the mid laner doesn't need to hear about, okay, when to pull, why to pull, how to pull. He doesn't care about that. It's never going to affect him. But side lanes it does, but differently, right? And so it's like, it's hard to kind of go over this stuff as group 2, because I feel like a lot of useless information is going to go out to like 3 out of 5 people at best.
I disagree. I think that if you're going over safe lane stuff, it applies for the off lane because that's what we should be looking for, and vice versa. So if you go over like safe lane pulls, when to pull, what to pull,
because it's
then
like
we know what to expect when that happens if we're doing what would cause
that's
that.
true. Just to understand, like on the opposite side of the spectrum, like what good players are going to be going. Yeah. Okay, no, that kind of makes sense. Because like. The thing about, like, pulling, for example, on safe lane, is that the idea behind safe lane pulling is to preserve equilibrium, and to deny waves from the enemy. The idea behind off lane pulling is to either deny the creep wave completely, or ruin the equilibrium. And you can accomplish that, generally, with the small camp, or if you kill off this big creep. You can ruin their equilibrium really, really badly. And it just, what that allows you to do is gain levels more so than farm. But you're not, it's so, you're doing the same action, which is pulling the creep whip to the camp, but for different reasons and with different effect. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to spend too much time on this, because, again, that's not really what I wanted to go over. I wanted to more go over, like, spectral stats, what are the meta trends so far in the last couple of weeks, and then the 2 games that you guys did play. Just to kind of go over some basic stuff, and actually, a lot of it is just congratulating you, honestly, because what I saw, for the most part, was that your rotations were much, much more on point. And part of that I'm seeing comes from not being as just utterly dominated or pressured in the lane, because when things are going good for you guys, you tend to make a little bit of space for yourselves. But really, it just comes down to the timing of it all. Even if you don't feel as pressured, like, you're all remembering. I think Lincoln was kind of saying Zach's doing a very, very good job of mentioning all those timings and keeping everyone on track as far as objectives go. So I just wanted to point that out, like, kind of consistently say, like, you guys are doing really well. Brandon, too, there were a couple of situations where Brandon was playing on Void where I was like, wow, I don't know if I could make some of those plays, like holding Chronosphere during some pretty crucial moments. But no, you did really, really well. So a lot of the session is just letting you see kind of cause and effect of correct play and how, when you do the right things, just the kind of impact they have, which is a lot. But there were obviously still a few tiny little things that we should be going over, definitely. So that's kind of it. I didn't want to focus too much on the laning. That's the reason why. But yeah, anyways, is there any more questions before we move into it?
Where's Adam?
Yeah,
No one.
He's been missing.
Yeah, he's kind of been MIA for a long time, huh?
Yeah, he still hasn't answered me, so I don't know. I don't know.
The corona is strong with that one.
Oh, Urchin's here. Hi, Urchin.
Yeah, Urgent came in maybe like halfway through when you were talking about mid.
You
I
were
think you
talking
heard.
to me about I was there.
You said you're trash, Urchin.
I didn't say
care.
No,
No, I'm just saying that because every single time Urchin hops in to spectate one of my games, he's always like, "You're trash" or something similar to that.
Wow, you did the stupid things.
Wait.
Every time I watch your game and you just did the stupid thing.
Wait, Urchin will always message me like
This is
encouraging
just
things
a-
like that was
this
a
is
good
just-
play, or you should just go farm, leave your idiot teammates.
This is just part of the casual. Urgen's just afraid that Brandon's gonna. Brandon's just an insider. He's trying to lose Urgent MMR to catch up to Urgent.
Brandon's his biggest competitor. Oh boy.
Alright. Let's see. So, real quick, just on the...
part you're talking about here. About
Okay,
me.
you came in on that? Okay, perfect. I can go... Did you catch all of that, or just kind of the tail end of it?
I just hear it from you talking about me landing. That's all.
No, it wasn't... Well, I mean, it was a mess-up. It was kind of half mess-up, though. But I was just explaining...
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, you made a really good decision to pull it on that first wave, obviously. That's kind of what you want to do almost every time as a melee hero versus ranged in mid, just to avoid taking an excess of harass, but you could have secured at least one of those range creeps if you had positioned just a tiny bit differently.
Yeah.
So that's, and I mean, again, I didn't really want to like go full flame mode on really anyone in these particular games, because it's like, yeah, I know you're scoffing because we had a little some time before, but that's different. But it's mainly just because it's like, obviously it's not your role, and so it's like there are going to be mistakes, and I don't want to like just nitpick all this stuff. I'll save that for when you're actually playing what you're comfortable on. So really, the only thing that I really saw in this particular draft was the 5th fam for you guys. Although, I think it's just fine, honestly. Well, yeah, okay, so you can't really see it because of the replay bug, but this was the Slark ban. And this is a Naga ban underneath for them. So, if you're expecting them to pick up a Slark, what I have written down is, if you're thinking of picking up Bloodseeker here, then there's no point in banning out Slark. If you weren't thinking of picking up Bloodseeker and then just saw these next two picks, the Underlord and the Weaver, and were like, oh my god, it's a free game, that's fine. Because obviously, what I would be more worried about in this particular situation is, instead of this Naga ban, it's a Bloodseeker ban, and then they just pick up Slark immediately right after the Undying. So I think with that in mind, it's fine banning out the Slark here. But again, like, you're picking up Bloodseeker, there's really no need for it if it's in a different pick and ban order. So it's not really something to be too concerned about, but...
if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think at the time we weren't thinking Bloodseeker. I think
Right.
Brandon might have had in the back of his mind Bloodseeker as a potential, but he suggested Bloodseeker once they picked the Underlord, and then the Weaver, and then he said, "Oh, this looks like a pretty free Bloodseeker game."
No, it looks like a very free Bloodseeker game at this point. So I mean, I would pick it like just the same. I think that's totally fine. I think it was a really great pick. So overall, the draft really wasn't that bad. I kind of liked it, honestly. You have just about everything you need. You got frontliners, you got pickoff, you've got some initiation, and you've got really, really strong lanes with these combos. The only thing is if, like, maybe the Weaver popped off or something, or just went absolutely ham instead of having a bad lane, you'd need, like, some kind of instant disable instead. But I think at that point you can just itemize around it. But just kind of keep that in mind. Maybe either the Void Spirit needs to go for, like... If the Weaver was doing really well, maybe Void Spirit goes for Orchid, or maybe Yule's is just enough, or Bloodseeker or Abyssal, just things like that. Because you can't really rely on the current CC that you have to really take care of the Weaver, unless you're just doing way too well in the lane, which you guys mostly did. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. Just think instant, when you see like these super ultra mobile heroes, Anti-Mage, Weaver, Quap, obviously, like, if they picked AM, for example, instead of Weaver, you really can't rely on just the Vengeful Spirit or just the Void Spirit to CC him. Does that make sense? Need a little bit of instant disable?
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So let's see, what do I have down here? Alright, so first, top wave. Fast forward. So I'm going to quickly go over something. This is another tiny little laning thing that we can get more in depth in later. But it has to do with developing a feel for last hitting. Really understanding kind of the capabilities of your skills and your right clicks and how they interact with, like, the current HP of the creep. So this first wave, let me see. You nuked it down, which was fantastic. But the thing that I want to impress on the most is that, like this, right here, he did that totally correctly, where he fired off a auto attack and then used Scoochie right afterwards to secure that range creep, because he knew it would be enough to get that last hit. That's what I mean by developing a feel for last hitting. He did that one perfectly. And I'll show that again, just one more time. How it gets hit by the creeps a little bit, he throws out one just to secure it, and then uses his skill to do that. There was no point in time where either of you had a chance to deny that. That's what I mean by securing it. So right here, you need to also learn to develop that same kind of feel, where as soon as it gets within the range to get nuked down, which would be right here, you're pressing that button instead of hesitating at all. I don't know if it was this wave or the next wave that it happened, where it was like a big hesitation. But it almost cost you the... No, it was that one. So just timing your auto attacks and your skills so that it hits both at the same time and never gives them an opportunity. Because, like, right here, if they both hit it at the same time, they deny this range creep. And you'll get that a lot in high-level play, where as soon as this range creep gets to about 40% HP, both the carry and the support are going to hit her. Both the offlane and the support are going to hit it no matter what. Doesn't matter who gets the last hit. It's that you're denying it or that you're securing the last hit for your team. So to avoid that, it's basically, instead of just attacking and then waiting a little bit, then using the skill, it's waiting for the creeps to hit it down a little bit more, and then timing both so that they both hit at the exact same time and make it impossible to deny. These guys didn't do it because they don't understand the concept, and they just don't lane very well, honestly. That's really just the gist of it. But later on, you will get these situations where creeps like this get denied because you wait too long to press Resonant Pulse with an auto attack. So that's something else that we can go over a lot of. Oh my god, I have so many. There's so many examples in every single game of like how you could be CSing more efficiently or using that feel, I guess, to really secure creeps. But we're not really going to continue on with that. So 130. Again, it's something that I see just about everyone struggling with. At this point where you're about 200 HP down, eat a tango. Don't wait. Because this is just giving kill potential by being too low HP. And just meandering around with all this is just not something that should ever happen. So, I mean, they don't get it, obviously, but it's just good practice. About 200 HP is when you want to eat a tango, at the most. Anything after that is just waiting too late. Sometimes you want to do it in preparation, especially in mid lane. When you're trying to take like really, really good trades, maybe you're like SF versus Huskar or something where it's super important to just get that extra tango regen. That's something you want to constantly be thinking of. Using it efficiently and when to pre-tango, when to actually use it. When's too late, basically. So let's go. Oh, yeah. So I want to talk about this too, right here. So when you're going... What's wrong with this picture right now?
You're not running for the wave going on the tower.
Right, right. Whose job is it to deny these range creeps?
Should be mine.
Yeah, Vengeful's. Whose job is it to soak up experience under tower, get a level advantage, and get CS?
Lincoln.
Right. It's the Void Spirits. So, right now, and especially with you being so low HP, the Vengeful should absolutely, if you pull this lane, just deny the range creeps. Just sit over here, attack them when you're full HP like this, and they're still over here. Deny as many range creeps as you can, be in front, let your carry. This is... does anyone remember the last session that we have when I talked about not leeching experience under tower? This is a perfect example of when you shouldn't be underneath the tower as a support. When you should give 100% of this experience to the Void Spirit, because he's going to do much, much more with levels and give you kill potential with levels than you will with level 3, for example. Level 2 is pretty important for you, but like level 3, does it really make that much of a difference more so than the Void Spirit getting level 3 or level 4? The answer is no. So this is a perfect example of when the support should be up denying the creeps and the core should be soaking up experience under tower solo and getting all this CS. So that was the first thing that I noticed about this.
Yeah,
really
I think I was trying to like
here.
hold the wave off before.
Yeah, right. Which is totally, which is totally fine. Holding it before the tower so that you keep equilibrium around here. That's also acceptable. But the problem was, I see the idea. The execution wasn't quite there though. Because if you're gonna do that, I can't even draw. Can you guys see my cursor? Or is that just... Okay, okay. Can I make it in Discord so that I can see or show my cursor? Because I know I have it enabled on my stream to see the cursor, but you can't see it through Discord. That sucks. So what you want to do in this position is avoid this red line. You don't want to bring the creeps anywhere past this. And what's going to end up happening in practice is the range creeps should be hitting you pretty consistently. Or you can just pull them over like towards this little stairway over here to avoid as much damage as possible. You don't want to be running around in a circle because then you just take pretty consistent damage from the melee creeps and the range creeps. But if you run them back and forth in kind of big lines right in front of this tier 1 tower, the tower doesn't get a chance to hit them. You keep equilibrium. The range creeps might go first, But this next wave that's coming up here is going to make it all the way down to here by the time this wave is dying. So if you want to keep this equilibrium right here in front of your tower, just run out towards this staircase and run back over and over again. You're going to take a little bit of damage, but it's better than kind of this right here, which is like dancing and eating the creep wave while not keeping it in front of the tower. Because now everyone's in here, and it's not really accomplishing as much as you would rather it do. Because now the creep wave comes out to here instead of being in front of your tower, and you took a lot of extra damage that you didn't need to. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
it should be Lincoln doing all this with Resonant Pulse, because he can tank this entire creep wave, no problem, and you should be hitting these creeps over here. But B, there's a lot more efficient way to do it if you are put into the situation where you as a support need to keep equilibrium. Just run it back and forth outside of this little red line right here. Cat. Trying to eat my food. Okay, moving on. Where's my next notes? Oh, yeah. So, at this point in the game, what's missing from this lane? Against a Weaver.
Sentry.
Yeah,
It
there
took
you
me
go.
way too long
Instead
to
of
pull it out.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I knew it as
Absolutely.
soon as I like got it actually out into lane. I was like,
'Cause-
this should have been out here like 2 minutes earlier.
Oh yeah,
Or
definitely.
even come to lane with me.
Yeah. Totally. And you feel the effect of it right here, right? You're not able to get off the stun onto the Weaver. You miss out on a whole lot of harass, and he's able to basically get away with murder because you have no way of seeing him. So remember to always keep in mind against these heroes that make use of invisibility, bounty hunter, Weaver, fucking I don't have to go over them all. Just make sure you're bringing out that sentry much sooner, because I don't think I even saw it until like 5 minutes or
Yeah, it
something.
was like, it was way too
something
late.
way
It was like
way
probably
late.
around green. Yeah. I think it should just not be a mango. It should probably be a sentry.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Because it's not like Venge's skills cost a whole lot, and you're really mainly
I've
going to
also
be
got the
harassing
Bassi.
with the 25. Yeah, and he has the Bassi too. But it's like, yeah, all that could have been avoided if you guys saw him and had a sentry. I think even a death like soonish on the Void Spirit could definitely be avoided if like this half HP Weaver just got spells dumped into him because you actually saw him. So, okay, here it is. This is what it was. Alright, remember what I was saying. Does anyone remember the trick for last hitting under tower that I taught you guys a little while ago? Can anyone repeat that to me?
It was a little bit of an imposter there. I do not remember.
Okay. So just to reiterate, and since none of you can remember, please write it down. When you're underneath the tower, what you want to do when you have like this right here, there's no creep wave, no one else is contesting it, nothing. All these should be free up until this creep wave coming. That's when it gets a little bit trickier. But if you, for example, have this tower underneath, ranged creeps have 2 armor, which means that they have 10% physical resist. I'm sorry, melee creeps have 10%, ranged creeps have 0. So you don't... what that means is ranged creeps are going to take a little bit more damage, about 110-ish on average. It's between 100 and 120. Sometimes you get screwed up with the values, but for the most part, it's averaging 100. Melee heroes or melee creeps on the other hand, rather, are going to almost always take around 100 damage total, because 10% off of 110 averages out to be 100. So the safe way of CSing underneath the tower, if you don't have a Quelling Blade, is it's going to be 10% minus your attack damage. So for Void Spirit, that's going to average out to about like 56-ish, 57. Let's say 57 to be, or 56 to be safe. If you click on this creep, you're going to... the only thing I want you to pay attention to is these last 2 digits. If this is over 57, you're going to hit it. If it's under 57, you're not going to hit it. And then obviously if you have a Quelling Blade, you add or subtract 18, whatever it is that you need to. So right here, if you click it, you see 260. So this is a hit. See how you missed it? Just barely. By about like 3 HP. It's because you didn't hit it. This one right here is 371, but he's not taking any damage. So this is also a hit. You hesitated, you almost did it, but you missed it because you didn't hit it. So timing it, yeah, you got that one, perfect. But do you guys see what I mean? All these creeps are going to take a very set amount of average damage. Sometimes you get screwed. Sometimes, like, the tower just feels like doing 100 damage or 120 damage 2 in a row, and then it messes up everything, and it's like, ah, gosh damn it, I did it all right. Like, why didn't I get that? It's out of your control. But on average, this is going to, on average, be what you do to get these last hits under tower reliably. Click on them, look at the last two, figure out if it's melee creep, is it more or less than 10% minus your damage, or your damage minus 10%. And if it's a range creep, well then is 220 plus whatever. So let's see. If tower hits range creep on average, it's going to do about 220 damage per 2 hits. Does Lincoln currently have enough damage to hit a range creep 1 time and CS it? Anyone?
No, right? If it averages to 110, then it's going to be 220. He's at 63, so he's going to be like 17 short.
Right, 66. But yes, so
yeah.
the thing about range creeps is you don't have to worry about any armor, so what you see is what you get. You're going to do full damage to a range creep, so you don't have to worry about taking off 10%. So it's 66. But yes, you're right. If it averages out to 110 per hit, the range creep is going to need to get hit twice to get CS'd. So that's what you do underneath the tower. Anything past that, I can't tell you. Like when there's a creep interacting it or an enemy hero, it entirely has to go off of your personal feel. Because it's going to be different every single time, so there's no point in me trying to explain everything to you. But uncontested farm underneath the tower, this is what you do. Click on the creep, look at the last two. If for melee creeps, 100 is... If your last hit... Yeah, never mind. I'm just not even going to say it. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's pretty much it. But then, yeah, you can supplement this kind of damage with last hitting it with skills, or just hitting it an extra time with your auto attacks. Yeah, that's how you do it. So, if you... I saw like some hesitation, like you weren't sure. If you aren't sure, the easiest way is just click on the creep. It'll tell you. But then once you start getting better and better at last hitting under tower, I promise you eventually you'll start developing a feel for it. So you won't have to click on it. You'll just see, like, get a good estimate, essentially, a reliable estimate to last hit it. You'll know when to click it and when not to, basically. That'll come with a few thousand more games. Alright. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds. A little bit too much aggression. I think he ends up dying. But at least Zoro kind of had that presence of mind. Or Zack had that presence of mind. Like, just to get back, go for the bounty runes. Yeah. Gets to see us under tower, moves over, positions for it. Perfect. Great job. Awesome. I love seeing you guys do this, where you guys are finally, like, making these rotations. This is exactly what you need to do. Perfect. The only thing that you can do better, and I kind of talked to Lincoln a little bit about this, is planning your aggression around these objectives. What does that mean? It means around like 4 minutes and 30 seconds, you don't want to be half HP hitting a creep wave. You want to be preparing, either nuking it out or preparing to get these bounty runes. Which means don't play aggressive, don't trade hits. Make sure you're ready to contest bounty runes. And if you're not, how do you fix it? So that's it. And yeah, that's pretty much the same thing around 10 minutes. You have to prepare for the bounty runes. Nuke out the wave is more important than going for kills around that time. Or being a little bit gambling, I guess, is really the best way of saying it. Gambling your resources around that 9-minute mark, 9 minute 30 seconds. You don't want to be doing that. Alright, let's rewind and go for mid, actually, next time. So I think Urgent kind of caught the tail end of that talk, so I'm not going to go over that. But we all kind of understand the beginning of laning. The laning talk that we're going to have eventually. Positioning is a huge thing about laning. Positioning is what makes or breaks a lot of lanes, actually. But, let's see. Yeah, something that he definitely did right, and that I want to see everyone doing consistently is at that 125 mark, right around here. So this is what I mean. This is what the Weaver did right here, and this is what Urchin does. It's just, it's good. This is perfect. No hesitation whatsoever. Right-clicks it, immediately uses a skill to secure it. Doesn't give the OD the chance to do that. Or to do anything, really. So, very nice there. And then there wasn't really a whole lot to say about this lane. I mean, there were a lot of little things, but it's like, it's not really your lane, so I'm not going to nitpick you. But I just wanted to skip past to this first rotation. And this is for Adam, too. Both games, actually. I noticed both games that I saw Urchin playing mid. He made this exact same rotation at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Perfect! This should be your first rotation, and Urchin did it perfectly every single time. Teleported top on Zeus right around 9 minutes 30, 9 minutes 40 seconds. Teleported bot on the Dragon Knight, 9 minutes 30 seconds. What's he doing? Getting kills, securing bounty runes. Where is he at 10 minutes? Perfect. That's exactly what I want to see from you guys. This is an example of a perfect, flawless rotation. I mean, yeah, if you were like 2 seconds faster, you could have been on top of it, but like, I'm not going to bitch at you. You did really well. This is great. This is what I want to see more of, especially when Adam's playing, is these well-timed rotations. So good job, Urchin. Really wanted to highlight that for you. Alright, back in going on to safe lane. I think this was a really easy lane for you. This Underlord played terribly and skilled even worse. But I remember there was, I think it was Mark actually playing the Underlord, where he started maxing Atrophy Aura and it felt really, really bad against a Faceless Void. Guess what? This guy maxed Atrophy Aura and it felt really, really bad against the Bloodseeker in a position, and he missed like 2 or 3 opportunities where he could have gotten kills on both these guys. Only because he really, really wanted that extra 10% damage reduction for some reason. I couldn't tell you. But, okay, let me see. It's like, I don't want to bitch at Mark too much either, because I understand, like, he doesn't really play on this team as much as everyone. But, I went over this with Lincoln, and so I will go over it with you. So, this is great play. I love seeing this from my Undying 5s. Whenever I have an Undying 5, it feels fantastic, especially on these snowbally heroes like Bloodseeker, or like a Monkey King, or a Razor, or anything like that. Heroes that can really control a lane with early levels. I love it when a support Undying is doing stuff like this. Now, in order to really secure this lane and make it feel even better for this Bloodseeker, me personally, what I would be doing is just spamming out Decay during this first couple of creep waves so that Underlord can't contest it whatsoever and can't even show up to the lane and get experience. So, what does that mean? It means, let's see, right? So you use that first one, walk at him, great. Means instead of walking straight down in this lane, I would probably position like into the trees or something, dodge this creep wave, and then spam out Decay on him as much as you possibly can. As soon as it's off a cooldown, just use it on him. Because he's, again, like I've been saying over and over, what's the most important wave? The first one. Right? First one, these early ones are the most important, and then gradually they get less and less important as you're able to clear the jungle and do other things. Rotate on heroes for kills, doesn't matter. The first few waves are going to be the most important, and if you can give that free to your carry, that is huge. So, let's go over this.
I think what I was trying to do is I was trying to save it for, like, normally what I do is...
Yeah, the doubles, yes.
Would you say it's, like, less of a priority? Like, is that not as, it's not as important?
It's great if you can get a double. Like, it feels awesome. I'm never complaining if you do. But, especially in these lanes with strength heroes, which are really, really punished hard by this Decay, they can't right-click you as hard, they don't have as much HP, and you can they don't have the same amount of armor, usually, as, like, Agi heroes do. If you can pressure out... If this strength hero is the one that's supposed to be farming and you can pressure him out, I say just spam out Decay. Like right here. I would just turn around Decay him right away.
When Dad was looking at this, I was there. He counted out there were 30 seconds between this where that's three decays that could have gotten off.
Right, onto the Underlord to pressure him out. I mean, you got 3 mangoes. This is a fine build, especially as Undying. But if you have this gigantic mana pool of basically, what? 729? You get to use 10 decays early on in this game. The most effective time to use them is going to be either when you have kill potential or early on when you can harass them out of this lane. So if you turn around right here and decay him right now, you're going to have another one in about 10 seconds. So let's count it out. 48 is when you're going to have your next one. And then he's going to be much lower HP. So instead of going after this Nyx, you're able to pressure this guy who's going to be down lower. And now... Sorry, 58 was the last one, so 108. Right now, you'd be able to get a second decay off on him, and that's another -8 strength. He'd be down to, what is that? 11. 11 strength.
Probably around 400 health.
Yeah, like literally absolutely nothing. And so now what's the result of that? If you had an extra 2 of them right now, well now, Brandon, was this Brandon? It was Brandon.
Yeah.
So now this is where you get the 3rd one off now. And Brandon is able to do what? Get off of Blood Right. So those 3 decays would have absolutely been enough to kill him right there. But harassing him out in most situations is okay. Unfortunately, because he has that less strength now, he gets a super efficient salve. But it's still fine. Like, this is definitely good gameplay. I think he would have died if you were a little bit more aggressive, though. And even if he didn't die, it forces him back way earlier, so he doesn't get like a little denial on the creeps, and it's just a freer lane for Brandon in general. So
that makes sense.
Keeping in mind when to pressure, especially on support and dying, early levels are usually the best. I think you're going to kill him here anyway, so it doesn't even matter that much. But consider that for future reference. Always be asking yourself, when's the most effective time to pressure someone out, and how can I do that? So that's pretty much it. I didn't really see a whole lot. I mean, this lane was kind of a stomp for you guys, so I don't really want to go over too much, because it was just like, you guys kind of kept running at them and killing them over and over and over and over again, which was great. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so let's move forward to the first team fight.
Just one quick question.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Before we go. So after I got that kill, I bought 2 Wraith Bands and flew those out ASAP because I thought we were going to fight more and I wanted the stats. Do you think that was the correct decision, or should I have bought something else?
Let's see, if you got an orb on the Undying, it's against an Underlord. I think that's fine. The only other thing... Let me give you an example real quick. What time are we at right now? 4 minutes in. Okay, so we're going to move forward anyways. Let me give you an example actually for my own game. This is the only other thing that I would ever really want you to do. Is this the game with the puck in it? Yeah, it is. Okay, this is the only other thing that I would ever want you to do besides early stats, honestly. And the only reason why I did this was because I got some early kills and essentially free farm, and was able to get it with very, very little pressure from their team. And it works out awesome, because after I get it, I'm basically a god in the lane, and they can't touch me, and I just free farm for the rest of the game, and it's just completely over. But in this particular game, I rushed treads. Let me fast forward. So if I've got like 1,400 gold just sitting around from the early game, and I can afford to rush it, I would say this is the other option that you have, but you need to ask yourself when and why you're doing it. Let's see. Yeah, this one right there. So early kill right there. Gives me a lot. So I'm basically top net worth 3 minutes in. Even though the CS wasn't perfect, that kill combined with getting most of the range creeps and everything else really propelled me to the point where I had like almost 4-minute treads, I think. And the reason why I decided to go treads instead of Wraithbands in this particular matchup was A, so I could split the illusions, so Puck couldn't just use all of her skills on me right away and like get me down to 0 HP, and B, so I could harass out this Rikimaru before he hit level 6. So once I get him, the lane feels fantastic, and I would say this is the only thing, the only other consideration you should really have, maybe a wand in the lane. So buy that, and you can see part of the other thing that factored into my decision was that I still had 3 tangos and I still had a healing salve at 5 minutes in. So I didn't really foresee a whole lot of harass coming out from either of them. I also have 8 armor, so I mean I didn't really need the earlier stats. And that's kind of why. That's why I rushed treads instead of getting Wraithbands, which I would do almost always in like 9 out of 10 games, I would say. I'm going to get early Wraithbands just to give me extra stats, make me a little bit tankier, and just make my laning phase a lot easier. But I chose not to in this particular game. Yeah, again, this is the only other thing that I would ever really say you should even remotely consider. Because now that I get this, Ricky can't even like do anything when the illusions are up. I'll show you. I hit level 5 and I have treads 5 minutes into the game. Like, this is just... You can't lane this anymore. You picked a really bad pick, and, like, this is just classic, you got punished for your stupid pick. I'm just gonna deny everything that I can, get every single last hit. And that's it. That's the end of your lane as Ricky. I'm just gonna micro illusions at you, constantly walk at you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. You just have to run away. That's why I went treads. Dominate the lane. Don't even care if I take tower hits. I'm just walking at them. And this is gonna go down too. That's another little effect of getting these early kills and this early treads. Is now this tower is gonna go down at like 7 minutes into the game. So if you're completely dominating a lane and you think you can get away with it, you're not really taking a whole lot of harass, by all means, go for something extremely greedy like this. You can get away with it. But then I do go back for the Wraithbands just because they're generally a good idea on Naga and they help accelerate your farm.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright. Why does it not show up in my downloads? It's so weird.
I think this might be the second game.
It's the one where I play Mars.
Oh, is it? Wait a minute.
First game I played Void Spirit, second game I played Mars.
Oh, dang it, I did pick the wrong one.
No, that was the right game.
No, that was the second game. We didn't finish.
No, that's the
first
second game. Yeah, we didn't finish the first. There it
Yeah,
is.
I could tell because they had the level 25 Enigma the second game.
Yeah. Forced Enigma.
Okay, so the biggest thing about this first team fight is that... Oh, well, that's not it. It was, for the most part, pretty well executed. The only problem is, and again, everyone struggles with this kind of stuff, not just you guys. You didn't get anything from it. And what do I mean by you didn't get anything from it? Well, let's see. First, let's look at the team fight. So you just barely survived on the Bloodseeker by like half a second. Team comes in. Seems like a disaster, but honestly it's pretty okay. Dragon Knight comes in, he's a pretty big boy, kills 2 people. So ignore this dragon. Look, he's not actually ulted. He currently is in regular form. He did not have dragon ult for that entire duration. What could you guys, looking back now, do here? With 3 people dead like this?
Push bottom tower right now.
Perfect. He's got Elder Dragon form coming up in 10 seconds. It's going to be perfect time to start damaging a tower, and you're all down here, mostly full HP, but Bloodseeker's going to heal up off this next wave, right? So, what do I mean by get something from this? I'm saying, when there's 3 people dead like this, and you only lost a support, you've still got the illusion right here, start looking for objectives. The answer in this particular situation is not running back mid, even if you're trying to pressure it, which Lincoln was, but Urgent, I think, was more focused on the jungle here. The answer is get the nearest objective, get the objective as quickly as possible, which is run bot lane, use Elder Dragon form, get this tower if you can. Which I think you could have. You had 30 seconds, and even if you don't kill it, you at least put a lot of pressure on it, damage it a whole lot, and secure a little bit more area to contest these bounty runes or keep your own. So it's just a good idea in general to try and focus down these objectives whenever you can and as soon as you can, most importantly. So, that's it. Skip ahead to 15 minutes, 30 seconds. So yeah, this was kind of a thing. But besides that, I would say like carrying detection for this Weaver, definitely right. You want to at least have a sentry ward.
I don't like this sack.
But I mean, it works out. He ends up not going for the Vengeful Spear for one reason or another. You guys end up taking a couple of kills. Nyx does not get away, body block, body block. And the cores are doing just fine. So, what do you guys do this time? What do you do immediately after? Perfect. Pressure this mid tower. This is what I want to see you guys do. Get a couple of kills, get 3 kills, win a team fight around an important mark or not, get an objective right away. Perfect. This is perfectly executed, right? Besides the vision and Lincoln dying. I can't see anything I wouldn't have done better myself. Great job. Now this, on the other hand, what's wrong here? Actually, let's make this easy.
We're taking a fight with no vision.
And?
We don't have our Void Spirit.
Perfect. No vision, no Void Spirit. You guys are underneath your tier 2 tower. Is there any reason for this? You just had a really good team fight and you just got a tier 1 tower. What could you be doing differently? What do you think?
I mean, we could swing top and push top.
Sure. You got a catapult up here, right? You got the siege creep. You can make use of that. On your way there, maybe supports could be warding up certain key areas. You know, 16 minutes. You're gonna, if you put up wards like around this area right now, they're still gonna be valid for when the outposts come at 20 minutes. When I say make these rotations, like for outposts or bounty runes, you don't have to just think about them 30 seconds before. A sign of high-level playing, and I think Lincoln did actually mention this to me, one of the things that he was saying was that really, really high-level supports and high-level players are going to be preparing, thinking ahead. Even if it's like 4 minutes or 5 minutes before an objective comes out, they might be getting vision down. Like over here, or establishing it on this high ground, or whatever, anywhere, it doesn't matter. The point is, as soon as you start diving a little bit deep like this, it all goes wrong. And it can be super avoided if you kind of make a more correct rotation and accomplish more efficient things on the way there. So, me personally, what I would like to see you do, as soon as you take this tier 1 tower, start moving up this way, start warding this in preparation for the 20 minutes, because wards last for a really long time. Get that vision down, and then rotate up with your second siege creep, which does come later, right? Doesn't meet this wave until about 45 seconds in. This one comes at about 20 seconds. So if you rotate out a mid straight to top, you can potentially make it for the siege creep wave. But yeah, definitely think about doing that instead of diving back here with no vision whatsoever and no real plan. Just letting them all get on top of you. Yeah, because you don't want to take these team fights with when they have the advantage. You always want to take team fights when you have the advantage. Where do you currently have an advantage? That would have been awesome to play around? Right there. So, that's pretty much it. Just keep those things in mind. I'm not asking you to play them perfectly. I'm not asking you to just do better. But just try to make those... Take this as an idea to make little improvements in your play. Instead of overextending, instead of playing into their vision or away from yours, just don't be greedy. Say, hey, let's move somewhere else. You know, we can take the tier 2s when we take tier 2s. Let's focus on tier 1s. Let's focus on establishing vision, getting control, preparing for the 20-minute mark. When, you know, we can make a rotation that'll really make a difference. Get us way further ahead than the enemy team. So, in this particular example, I didn't really want to go too in-depth with it. Like, I think, even during the game, Zach, I think you mentioned what happened right here. What you could have done differently. So, not really too much I'm going to say. That's just going to be up to you guys to continually work on not stacking stuns and just timing all of your skills and yours coordinate a little bit better. But, you know, the team fight ended up pretty good. I think Brandon comes in, just completely cleans up house. Brandon's going to TP in. That got wasted. Nyx missed a stun. Brandon comes in. Bup.
Like a race car.
Like a race car. 700 move speed, 18 minutes in. Seems super balanced. Good. Get a tier 1 tower off of that and keep pushing. This is totally fine. Actually, I like this just as much. Ping that out and go for it. I think that was Brandon that pinged that out, which is really nice. So now you guys establish control over this part of the map. You're able to pressure the tier 2. This is all totally fine. And it doesn't... See, this doesn't feel like overreaching yet, right? You've got tons of vision. You've got all of this map essentially on lockdown. They don't have anywhere to come sneak around you guys. The only thing that I could really point out here is what? Can the supports maybe give me it? What could you be doing here?
Kill the underlord.
No, I think that would border on diving too deep if you start going for the Underlord under his tier 2. What could the supports have done right about here to really make sure that everything goes smoothly?
Maybe ward the high ground? Like on the cliff up there to the right? I'm not sure.
With what kind of ward, though? Like a observer ward? You just want to put it up here?
Sentry.
Yeah, just to see if anyone's coming.
They've got 2 Invis heroes on their team, right? You did it over here. You got it right in front of their tier 1 tower. You did it over here and over here. If you want to push these objectives against enemy heroes with Invis, it's really good habit, like a Ricky or a Nyx or Weaver. It's just good habit to have sentries ready while you push and to put them down around their tower so that they can't sneak up on you or get off like really unfair initiations. So just remember that. This is fine, honestly, in this game because it's just not going to happen. But most of the time, you want to make sure that there's no way they can just run at you and you'll never see it coming. So try and get in the habit of buying and strategically placing sentries when you're pushing. And you actually pop 5, which is awesome. All right. So
I think we pushed for more than I expected to push there, and I was like, well, I don't have sentries for this, and then we backed off, and I was like, well, I need to have sentries for next.
Yeah, so you buy them. Awesome. Perfect. Self-fixing. So 20 minutes. I think just about everyone rotates for it. I think you definitely could have gone for this one, but you might just get it anyways. I don't remember. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. I love this. This is fantastic. You see an objective that's about to happen, position for it, get a sentry down against Invis heroes. There's no way that they can ever possibly take this from you now. Fantastic. I can't stress that enough. That is just very well done. So yeah, securing those, perfect rotations on 20 minutes. Man, bottom, maybe you could have gone for it, but whatever. I'm really, it's it's nice to see these games where I can just tell that Zach's like shot calling this kind of stuff. It's really, really nice. I like it. You guys got some really clean rotations going on this game. Alright, I think I'm just going to skip ahead to about 25 now. Let's just do this. Oh no, I clicked on accident. Right about here. So not a whole lot happened in between, which is fine. But now, okay. So we talked about this a little bit. What happens at 25 minutes that you really would discourage you from making aggressive moves?
Runes.
Not only that, though.
And 25-minute items.
Yeah, there you go. So, remember what I was saying. 24 minutes, 30 seconds to 25 minutes. This is going to be about the time where it's like you smoke up or play around a bounty rune, and then from 25 to 28-ish minutes, you're just going to go farm the jungle and the lane creeps. You're not going to want to do anything else. Like, go for free kills if they offer you free kills. But let me see. Let's just see your vision right now. You got nothing in this area, right? So it's never a bad thing to play more conservatively over too aggressively. Because what ends up happening, you just die. And then the bigger thing to me, it wasn't even just this. Like, I mean, this kind of stuff happens. Like, you know, it's going to happen whether you like it or not sometimes. But the bigger thing for me, it was like the smoke immediately after this. I think you guys like, yeah. Okay, so Undying smokes you guys all. What was the thought process? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? You've only got one of the tier 3 items. This isn't the time to do things, remember? You should have been smoked up and doing stuff like a minute ago. Now it's too late. And so
That was mine. I think I was the one that called for that.
Sure. Again, stacking stuns doesn't really particularly matter here, but just good practice not to stun over him. That was kind of a common thing. I'm not really going to nitpick you too hard on that. But, I mean, it works out, so it's great in the end. But if that had happened, like, a minute ago or something, well, maybe you guys get an extra bounty rune, or maybe Lincoln doesn't die, or maybe you can get something extra. Maybe you're able to pressure this tier 3 now with some extra time in dragon form. If you guys played this like a minute beforehand. Because nothing's changed. You haven't gotten any extra items or important skill points or anything like that within the last minute. He was level 18 before, now he's 19. It was just the timing. That's all that you guys missed, was just by 1 minute. And this could have been order of magnitude more effective. So just remember that. Let's see, 30 minutes. You got... Let's see, again, not a whole lot happening, and really not a whole lot should. You should be farming up the rest of your items, which eventually you do. There we go. One more. Still only have 3? Yeah, there it is. Alright, there's your 4th one. Perfect. Now you can go do stuff. Now that you've got all 4 of these. Now you can go make a smoke play. It's 28 minutes. Now you can go do things. So this is fine. Do you guys get it? Yeah, you do. Alright, perfect. Playing around an objective right after you got all your items. Awesome. Great job. Now 30 minutes. Oh, the one thing that I wanted to mention about this 30-minute timing. You guys go for that. Perfect. Get that. Awesome. Love the shot calling again. Just so important to have the whole team on this kind of same page. Now, in this particular position, you always want to try and secure at least 2 bounty runes. So what does that mean? You've got a BKB, you've got Mjolnir, you're fat as fuck. Play a little bit more aggressively, be that initiator, and then your team can come in and help you out if you need it. You've got a Vengeful, you've got the Undying Tomb. Make sure that you're here at 30 minutes rather than 30 minutes and 4 seconds. Because that could be the difference. Not necessarily, again, a lot of what I'm telling you is not specific to this game. It's just practice that I want to see you guys doing in the future. Yes, it didn't affect anything in this particular game. You still got the bounty room. But it will affect things in the future if you keep on doing this. Maybe at 30 minutes, the OD was on top of this, got it, and backed up all the way to the staircase by the time you blinked up here. And now you missed 3 of them instead of getting them all. Which you did because Brandon went solo up towards all those other things. Which, oh my god. Yeah, like, I just want to say, these guys did play terribly on the other team. Not to take away anything from you guys, but it's like, you guys are getting away with murder in so many situations that you shouldn't. Alright, 34 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, I think Lincoln mentioned something about Urgent's, like, calling out for a kill, but I just kind of wanted to show, like, why it was so particularly difficult to get that one. And it was actually abnormally difficult, but, you know, it's like, what are you gonna do? Okay, I think teamfight happens, really, really good. You guys kind of properly went on everyone, spaced out pretty decently. Didn't have a whole lot to nitpick you on this particular match. The diving is a little excessive, but it's like, you know, I'm kind of a fan of it, honestly. Like, I loved a good dive. And you guys get out, so I'd say dive well executed.
So it's spicy now that
it is very
now
very.
that the street gold is so high.
Oh, absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
On the patch, I was like, guys, Brandon's about to give away 1,000 gold. To
yeah,
someone.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's like, and think about it. You guys got the tier 3, but not the racks. What have we been seeing pro gamers do? It isn't stopping at the tier 3 and going for kills or like overextending or running away and getting the shrines anymore because there are no shrines. It's you want to focus down the racks first and foremost. Don't dive, please. If anything, just don't dive. They'll be there for you later to kill, I promise. There's no reason to dive in underneath the fountain and like potentially give up these streaks. It's even more important now that it's like just ridiculous how much golden experience you get from these deaths from ahead. I mean, it looks great when it works out.
Before we can get the kills. What if they GG before we can get those kills?
Do I have to answer that? Yeah, like... oh, god damn it. Yeah, it's like, I mean, this shouldn't be happening. This should not be happening at all. None of this. Brandon shouldn't be dying to an OD who just gets like 4 free attacks off of one, and you guys shouldn't be diving underneath. Like, it's just not worth it at all. Like, what?
Like that. Like the Weaver just got 500 gold from a position 5 support.
Yeah, and the OD got 800 gold from Brandon, while you guys get 600 total from the OD and the Nyx. Like, oh god, just don't do it. It's just absolutely not. With this current patch, it's even more... I need to emphasize it even harder than before. Do not dive, because these kills matter like 1.5 times as much as before now.
Wait, I'm the one that brought that to your attention. You thought it was less.
I thought that the gold was less, but the experience was more. Turns out the gold's more too. So I was wrong about that.
They're both like insane now. Like the gold and experience.
Yeah.
Bounties for the kill streak.
It's just absurd. Insane. I don't know why Ice Toad's bringing back these retarded bounties that like he adjusted before. Does anyone remember when like it was like the rubber band mechanics first came out, and it's like you get almost 4,000 gold for someone that was like ridiculously ahead if they died to you. Seriously, it was actually that much. It was like 4,000 freaking gold, and then like 5 levels. It was so out of whack. All right, this I just wanted to show for
those were the good days.
Yeah, right. This I just wanted to show for Urgen's peace of mind. Let me see.
No, it's because I said that you were upset that I did the combo wrong.
Alright, so right here. I think Lincoln had mentioned that you asked him to like Yules him up and then stun him so that everyone else could get over there, right? Yeah, now you remember? Okay, perfect. I just wanted to show you why it wouldn't have mattered either way. Alright, let's imagine right here, instead of Yulesing him, he uses his Orchid and Yuleses him up into the air. Now that's going to be 2.5 seconds, right? Yeah, 2.5 seconds where he's up in the air, and then 1.8 seconds where the Aether Remnant is going to hold him down for. He's going to have a Scoochie immediately after that. So, this is going to be good up to right about here. Alright. So, let's count. Alright. 2.5 plus 1.8, that's going to be 4.3. Let's go nice and slow. All the way up to 33.30 and a quarter, let's say. So now let's see. 28, 29, and 30. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right here. So this is where he would have been right now. This is when he would have gotten Scoochie again. You still have Blink Dagger off of cooldown. Nobody else is in position to catch him whatsoever. And Brandon still has his TP on cooldown for 3 seconds. More than enough time for him to get out. Even if he executed the combo perfectly, Weaver was always going to get away.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
yeah. I don't remember that Weaver have a Lincoln, so that's why I was
yeah. It's all good.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
So I just that's so easy combo.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely. Like in 99% of the situations that he doesn't have a Lincoln Sphere, but
and he should just solo kill
right.
Weaver. He
But
doesn't have.
Again, that's part of the reason why it's really important not to flame your team in the heat of the moment. Just because it's hard for you to get the whole picture until afterwards, and it's not your position to flame people or to get mad at them for not doing something right. Because sometimes it's not even possible to do something right. What I was looking at doing is, if it was possible for him to instead Orchid him, get a Naked Aether Remnant off onto the Weaver, catch him with the Resonant Pulse, both of his Astral Steps, full duration Orchid along with Veil of Discord, and I still don't think it would be possible for him to kill the Weaver. I think it would be just too little damage. But it would be very, very close.
Very close.
Either way.
Yeah.
And it would be incredibly difficult to get off. So I just wanted to give you an example of why it's important not to get pissed off or flame your team. Right. Just play together. Because a lot of the times it's actually not even possible for your team to, even in a perfect world, to do what you really want them to do. Alright. Let's see. 35 minutes. Let's fast forward a little bit. Brandon's here.
Yeah, they gotta add more taunts into the game.
They really do.
Part of it,
Seriously.
God damn.
Right. 35 minutes. Come on, guys. Perfect. Go for the bounty runs. Get those. Supports are out here. That's fine. Okay, good rotations, and then I think the game pretty much ends afterwards after you guys take another slight pause. Yeah, and I think the game just ends because Urgent was an absolute monster this game. They can't even touch him.
I still can't mad they pick OD to counter me.
Urgent. Just wait until we get to the next game. I told him how you were reacting in one of those fights.
Yeah, you could actually tell exactly what Urgent was thinking and saying the entire time. I loved it. I could literally hear Urgent screaming, even if it wasn't like anywhere besides my head. So yeah, no, really nice positioning. Only I think Lincoln was caught out inside of that Wyvern ulti, which is totally fine. You guys did what you needed to, got that.
I'm acceptable losses.
Yeah, it's just like a weird. So maybe you
want to
saw
rewind?
Points, well, that I did. I feel like this is a weird game for swap with me. I feel like it was very
because of all the
underutilized in this game. Like
well,
I didn't feel like there was ever I was looking at swapping people out of Wyvern ult, but there was never really a point in time where they were in it where it felt like a swap.
Yeah,
was really
and it's like it's hard.
A lot.
You're right, because it's like
it just felt like a weird. I just felt it this game. Like there are other games where I play Venge where I'm like, it feels great because you're saving people with the swaps.
Yeah,
this one felt weird.
It's really just like if Brandon right here gets down to like a third of his HP somehow, saving him by pulling him out and letting him go jungle back his HP is what you really want to do. But it's like he never really got to that point.
Yeah.
He had
Maybe
BKB
so
and was able to
really
exactly.
matter.
Yeah, right. And it's like you have the Undying heal and everything else. It's like nothing really happens to him. Oh god. Papega. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, everyone is just way too far ahead. Like, You guys played this really well, I think, overall. If you really consider everything, your rotations were much, much better than before, that's for sure. Laning phase went a lot better for almost everyone. Really, if I wanted to nitpick something, I think it would be the second game. Because I would have liked to see some more early rotations, I think. Especially when it's like you get completely hard countered in one of your lanes. But no, this one was really well done. You guys really made the most of it and just completely wiped the floor with them. So, good job. But yeah, just keep in mind those tiny things that we're always talking about. Let's see. Alright, right here. Alright, so let me see. I didn't really have a whole lot to say.
I think it was Brandon who called for this rotation, actually. I know what you're talking about now. It's the Nyx and the Mars lane, right? And
yeah.
Nyx just comes bot probably like 2 minutes too late or something like that.
Top, you mean?
Top. Or sorry, because we're playing
Alright, I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm just.
We'll see it. Yeah, we'll see. Don't worry.
I don't remember this game.
You made the call in the game. You were like, Mark, come bottom or come top.
No, that was me. I told him to leave.
Oh, was it you, Lincoln? Sorry.
I told him to get out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the draft for the most part is pretty okay. Giving away the Oracle. Yeah, good. Banning out that troll when you see Oracle. Fantastic. Love it. You guys aren't falling for the same shit twice. Good.
Oh, now you like the draft? Before
we were trying.
I like the ideas before everything. Now, I'll explain to you why I don't like the draft overall, but I love the ideas that you guys are picking up. I love the creativity that's coming out. And I really like that you're remembering kind of the past faults and adjusting. I think this is really good. It's part of improvement. It's what you guys need to do to continue to get better. But I see it. It's great. At least you guys are recognizing these situations and not kind of falling into the same trap over and over again. Because, yeah, that's a really dog shit lane for Mars. Nyx is Troll Oracle. God, I would hate that. Well, let's see. Going forward. Enigma, which is meh. I don't think that's a hero.
Enigma.
Yeah, I don't think Enigma's a hero, honestly. I just don't think it's very good. It's like Tidehunter. Tidehunter fell out
in a couple of the Wii save games.
Yeah, it's definitely a comfort pick.
So banning out the OD. Solid.
What?
Just banning out that save for the Mars Spear. Everything else, like even the Disruptor and the Void. Oh, yeah, actually, no. OD was a really good ban. I'll tell you that. OD was a very, very good ban.
Who did the OD? Who's the OD ban?
I said the OD ban.
Yeah, good for you.
Because we were talking about the save in the Void ult.
Yeah.
They just played it last game too, so.
Yeah, because as soon as he get Axe, it's just so hard to play against. Like, he can astral his teammates, he can astral you.
Or people in Disruptor ult, like it's, there's just a lot of stuff that.
No, really good ban. I like that. And then the Zeus. Alright, so now let me explain. The reason why I like your draft this game, you definitely have dominant team pick, a team fight, sorry. And it's very easy to play, I would say. You've got frontliners, you've got ways of canceling out the Enigma and the Juggernaut and the Death Prophet. Like, it's just a very solid draft. The only thing I'd be really scared of right now is the Oracle. So what that means is you're just going to have to slightly adjust the playstyle, either Mars or Nyx or Disruptor preferably. It's just going to be focusing out that Oracle, acquiring that target in every single team fight. Now, the reason why I don't like the draft is because these skills kind of tend to overlap rather than complement each other. You don't want to so much like Chronosphere over a Mars ulti or Mars ulti over a Chronosphere. Even though Disruptor does pretty well with the two, it just makes team fights feel a little bit clunky. Although, if they go on for a really long time, like if you drag them out, it's going to feel fantastic because you just constantly have this AoE to work around. So, I feel like drafting like the Faceless Void and Mars together is forcing you into a specific play style that doesn't necessarily complement each other, even if it does end up working out. I still think it's a pretty coherent draft. The Zeus pick really ties it together somewhat with the nuke damage under these certain conditions. And it just gives you that extra little oomph that really helped the Mars, especially with getting a couple of kills, even on the Juggernaut early on, which was huge. Like, I didn't see him coming, and then I was like, oh my god, that's right, there's the Zeus ultimate. I can't believe I fell for that. Like, I probably, well, I wouldn't have fallen for it at the Jug, because the Jug was really stupid and went for a really stupid build. But
I mean, even the Jug fell for it.
yeah, the Jug definitely fell for it. So, I mean, it works out. So I think the draft is pretty decent. Yeah, he's retarded.
Yeah, he went Battle Fury.
I like the
Yeah,
blink, but like,
very mad.
God.
Buy the fucking blink
Just for the Zeus. Yeah, just so he could go on the Zeus constantly. God, it
Oh
was
my
just...
god, I'm so annoying.
Yeah. Just focusing your ass down.
Just bling or shit.
Yeah. Fucking blink Juggernaut.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, bottom lane was kind of difficult, so I didn't want to like just really freak out too much on you. The one thing I wanted to focus on, I know, even though we went on, it's okay if I do it to you alone, alright? I don't want to do it in front of all your friends. Makes you look bad, jeez. So, one of the things that we talked about, really, was the itemization. Can anyone tell me why I don't want a Buckler as Mars against Juggernaut and Oracle?
Their damage dealing isn't physical.
No,
Yeah,
It's all magic damage, basically.
Right.
in that one.
Early on, what they're going to try and do is just burst you down with magic, basically. What is an alternative build that you could go for instead of this Buckler?
Does Nyx have a headdress?
Kind of weird, but I would almost say maybe get the what's the 250 movement speed item?
Windlace.
There you go. So, well, I mean, that you're kind of on the road to it, I would think. My kind of honest opinion is just boots. Like, why not? You can just completely outrun the Jug. Like, I mean, yeah, the Oracle will Fortune's End you eventually, but if you can get a far enough distance between the Jug while you're waiting for this Fortune's End to kind of wear out, you're not going to take nearly as much damage from the Blade Fury. So I just wanted to kind of mention that just in the future against these combos, I just think there should be more of a priority on move speed and not getting completely caught out and getting kind of put in a position where it's like, oh my god, they're staying on me, they're getting on me, and I can't do anything about it. I think you can avoid that a little bit more with like some move speed items or something, and then just complementing it with like a little bit of extra regen. You will have to ferry out some more regen like right away as you get the bounty runes, but I think you can get away with it a little bit more. The real problem with going these items now, like Buckler and Bassi or Headdress and stuff like that, especially on core heroes, is that they don't give you any stats anymore. Really, you want to build into them, like to the point where you get stats, because Vlad still has stats. What else? The other build-up. Veil still has stats. All these things still have a lot of stats, but it's like these items just don't feel good unless you specifically want them for their active or passives, basically. So I would say on cores especially, try to avoid going for those items now. They're just not nearly as good as they were before. Those three stats really does make a big difference. I would say...
Like
oh, sorry, go ahead.
another choice could have been picking up a Bassi just for mana regen and going with like something else that...
Yeah. Maybe, like just keep the... Well, so another thing is you could just spam out Spear every single time that Oracle tries to Fortune's End you. That way you don't get caught out with it.
Yeah.
At full duration. So that's also another option on how to play the lane. But I didn't really want to go over this one too much just because of how rough it was. I think it just comes down to rethinking your item build. Maybe Boots, maybe Bassi, and playing it in a little bit different of a mentality. Now, the thing that I did want to go over was Nyx not rotating out. Because if we look at these two heroes, what does Nyx do to them?
Pretty much nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Now, we look at these two heroes. What does Nyx do to them?
A lot.
Completely destroys them. And you know what? Let's just go over top right now. You're gonna lose out on a ton of experience against Enigma, no matter what you do, just because of the demonic conversion. You're just gonna get all of your range creep denied, and the only way to really come back and remedy that is if you get kills on him, which you did in top lane. I'm not gonna take that away from you. You did end up killing him a few times, and Void actually out-leveled him eventually, because they just played terrible again. But instead of just meandering around bottom, dying a couple of times, and doing nothing against this lane, which you do nothing against at all stages of the lane, rotate top, stay top. Because what do? You come top, you just get a kill on him right away. Like, at minute 0. Right here. What's stopping you from doing this over and over and over again and securing this lane completely for the Void instead of letting all these range creeps get denied and you do nothing bottom?
Yeah, that makes sense. I probably should have just
Stayed up here, 100%. Like, without a doubt. Like, there's absolutely no world where you don't want to tri-lane an Enigma. Because it's like, okay, think about it. Oracle comes up here. Well, now, okay, so you've got an Oracle, you've got a Snapfire, and an Enigma. Do they really out-harass, like, Nyx, Disruptor, and Void? Is there really anything they can do?
Regen.
Yeah. I mean, the tri-lane versus tri-lane is going to go fine for you. I promise. And then, I just think your impact is much, much higher. No matter what, if you're against the dual lane or the tri-lane. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But these heroes feel much better to play against as a Nyx Assassin than a frickin' Juggernaut does. So, in that particular situation, just remember, don't just lose a lane really, really badly and keep going to it. Secure one of your other lanes. Doesn't matter. Even Death Prophet, honestly, is gankable by Nyx, especially with this Zeus. You can kind of pretty much freely harass the Death Prophet, and it's hard for her to really get these Spirit Siphons off on you to heal up. So if Nyx just goes mid with a smoke, you can definitely look at killing her. That's a possibility. But, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it just comes back to rotating around between these two lanes. You have no business being bottom, and everybody has to remember that. Yeah, remember, cancel out that Fortune's End. Doesn't matter. One of you have to chuck out a stun just to stop that so you don't get a full duration off and spun on completely. But that's pretty much it. Alright, let's rewind, go over top. Yeah, all I put down here is Mark should have stayed up there. You're going to get bone on experience, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So nothing really until about 5 minutes. Lane is pretty decent, I would say. Let's look at like the CS. Last hit some knives. Yeah, Void's coming up on top. I mean, it's not hard to last hit into these guys, and the Eidolons just do absolutely nothing to you melee heroes now. Like, there were times where I was just watching them lay into him, and it's like, wait a minute, only Enigma's doing damage. What?
Where's the...
Look at it, it does nothing! He's not even taking any damage! Literally, no damage!
No.
Just such a terrible hero now. I don't know.
I wonder if it's because they haven't... has that happened ever since they changed the way that...
oh yeah.
Passive block
Oh
works?
yeah. Enigma hasn't been a hero since that happened.
because I know Undying used to have the same problem with zombies.
Yeah,
Then they just
they were fixing with some heroes. I guess I kind of just assumed they fixed it with other heroes.
Well, like Visage birds do
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
Visages.
nothing to melee heroes
Yeah.
at
I actually saw
all.
a Reddit post about it the other day.
Yeah,
It
they
was
do
just like,
literally
this
no
hero's
damage.
Literally, like does like 12 damage with the birds at
It's
level 1. And this
dumpster
shit's his
tier.
ultimate. Like
It's dumpster tier. I'm telling you, and Enigma's the exact same way. So I mean, this lane goes really well. It's pretty easy for you. But what I would really like to see is you guys try lane this and just get kills on them constantly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just remember that you don't have to have these static lanes. Get creative. Like, this guy's so bad. Even just giving you free last hits like that. God, it just pains me to see.
What is this? I was a little bit confused as to why I was dealing so much damage to Snapfire and Snapfire wasn't dealing any damage to me. Do I die here?
No.
No.
These guys all, like, these guys die and they just
Oh, right,
completely
right.
put Pega out.
Ridiculously.
Can you imagine if Nyx Assassin had, like, TP'd in or something as they were diving under the tier 1 tower at 3 minutes into the game? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Just.
true, Mark. That would have been so cool if you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. Damn it, Mark. God, freaking Mark.
I don't know. I just felt like, for some reason, I felt like I was attacking for a lot of damage. I don't know. We just don't play Disruptor that much. I was just kind of shocked when I was trading with the Snapfire.
Yeah, maybe only 2 base armor. It's just like you basically do 50 damage a hit on average. Alright, so yeah. Push the wave under the tower. Perfect. Love this. I love this. The Enigma's an idiot because he's kind of contributing to it. Like, if you're an Enigma, you want to start kind of converting the enemy creeps rather than your own. And what the hell is this? Level 2 Malefice?
I couldn't have told you that he had level 2 Malefice. I only think I saw him use it once.
This guy's high as a kite.
He's level 25 Enigma.
He knows what he's doing. He's a level 25.
Yeah.
So
It's
every
just-
level 25 people I met, they are all kind of weird. I don't know why.
Did we have a vision of this Death Prophet walking up? Actually?
No, we didn't. I just kind of went for the rune, and I didn't know that Death Prophet was going to be here. And I
Well, did we have it from that ward? Let's go back and see. Actually, could we have rented
sorry.
this?
What ward?
This ward mid.
Oh.
They don't have a war meat?
Oh, just briefly.
Kind
Just
of.
briefly saw it. That one's hard. Just
Yeah.
briefly. If you were like staring at your mini map, you might have seen it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not see it.
I remember
I
I
didn't
did
feel
that.
too bad about this death. If the bounty room was there, then I would have secured it. And I gave up 174 gold. I wasn't really crying over this one.
No, it wasn't like awful, and you come back to lane with full HP, full health, so it's whatever. But like, yeah, just staring at your mini map is definitely an important thing about playing the game that you'll get more accustomed to. Like, honestly, the higher up in MMR you get is probably directly correlated to how much time you spend staring at the mini map instead of your actual game.
God. Let me actually fix my mini map right now, because when Dota reset my hotkeys, it's now like arrows, and then when I hold Alt, it's like the hero names, then I have to click Alt for arrows. I don't know, it's all fucked up. It's all like weird shit on my mini map.
Yeah. Alright, so right here, I wanted to go over just a tiny, very, very small little efficiency thing. You get the kill. Alright, now what would be the correct course of action here? What should you be doing right now that you're not doing?
Attack moving.
Yes, there we go. Stutter stepping. That's what it is. So
Same thing.
it's basically the same. Stutter stepping, attack moving, whatever you want to call it. I think stutter stepping is like the old school name for it. But yes, you always want to be moving forward and like getting into the best possible position you can, even if they are CC'd. Because if you don't get this bash here, well, now you've got 3 seconds. You got to commit a time walk to him. He's going to be running around inside of the trees. Like, all this stuff is happening all because you didn't stutter step, basically, and move forward a little bit. To secure that kill, no matter what, even if you don't get that bash, just move forward a little bit while you're doing that. And honestly, it's just a really, really good habit to get in. Always be making the most out of your movements, and that means stutter stepping. Chopping down trees with the quelling blade is another one. Just get in the habit of cutting them to give you vision, and getting ahead of your opponent when you're trying to trade hits. Always stutter step. Don't just sit back passively, because it will punish you someday, if not today. Alright. Yeah, this was the first rotation from the next, which is way too late. Alright, and that should be pretty much it. I think mid lane, for the most part, was good. There's a couple of small things, but it's like, again, I don't really want to nitpick Urchin too much, because it's not his role.
It may be if Adam doesn't come back.
Yeah, right? Oh my god. But no, I think Urchin did really, really well. He rotated every single time when he really, really needed to around that 10-minute mark. Went for the bounties when he needed the extra refill on them. Stuff like that. I think he played it mostly very, very well, considering this was like on the fly, essentially. So not much I really want to say about that. Alright, let's go to the team play. 10 minutes. So yeah, right about here. So maybe you could have done it like a few seconds earlier, but what the heck, I'm not gonna bitch at you. So, awesome rotation. You're all up here. You've all got your skills. You're about to use them. Get some kills. Mark goes for the bounty runes, gets those. You guys chase down kills. Pretty well executed, I would say. Most of the time, I'd like to see you guys playing around the bounty runes, but honestly, like, because Mark had the stuns available and was able to secure them on his own, yeah, just go for the kills. I think I see the rationale behind it, and so that's totally fine. But yeah, really good rotation. Everyone came up here. Mars came up here. Zeus came up here. Got a couple of kills, secured bounty runes, moved over, went for the next thing. Just, yeah, clean. That's what I wanted to see from you guys a few weeks ago. This is perfect. So, I mean, yes, Jug is farming, but it's like I feel like you guys are getting more still out of this. Especially if you're like...
Jug's farming, but what is he farming for? A farming item.
Yeah, and he's just a giga picket. Oh my god, that's so stupid.
I feel like regardless of what was happening, he's farming for a farming item, so he's planning on not fighting, just sitting further in the jungle.
Well, and it's like, look at how stupid his items are. Like, the only person with right-click is the Void. And even he's got, like, magical damage that he uses in Chrono for the most part. Look at his stupid items! God, he's got a Naked Perseverance and Phase Boots! What the hell?
I think the weirdest thing is that, like, most of their team was Immortals, right? Wasn't there?
No,
they're Divines, but it's like...
Or Divine,
Divines, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna say Divine.
Like, I mean, everything... Everything... No, sorry, go ahead, Urgent.
No, I just say he doesn't have stick, and he doesn't have any stats.
No, he has no stats. And Omnislash doesn't even synergize with Phase Boots anymore. You want attack speed because you get the bonus damage. So it's like, why wouldn't you go for Treads, especially against this team? They're all magic damage, every single one of them. It's just so stupid. God, it just fries me.
Actually, I remember. Yeah, so Urgent was telling me to go to get a Desto this game because we didn't have right click.
Yeah, that definitely could have been an interesting build.
Farming very well, then we can just mail them down.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a good line.
God, I hate this Juggernaut so much. He like embodies everything. Everything.
Jesus
Seriously.
Christ, what did I just watch?
Seriously. I hate him so much. He just embodies everything that is ultra greedy, low skill carry. Honestly, like, this is the embodiment of ultra greedy, low skill carry. Someone who rushes a fucking Perseverance after boots and just goes for naked damage items. No stats, nothing. Nothing. God, I hate this so much. This is so low skill. Never ever do this. If any of you do this, I'm gonna slap you. God.
Spin there as soon as it goes up.
God, I couldn't tell you, man. It's just it hurts to watch, doesn't it? Just oh, and he does it again. He does it again. Wait a minute. Let me show you. He fucking does it again. The exact same thing. He does it again right afterwards.
He didn't have enough. He wanted more.
No, he had a raindrop queued up for a second. He was thinking about it.
Yeah, he was thinking about it, you know? He was thinking about it, the fucking raindrop, why not? Where's the spin? God, why is it now?
I don't know why he's not.
What? Does he not know
I
his
thought
spells?
he was in cooldown.
Alright, I didn't know
somebody
this
have
game
a
was
little
this
break?
wild. What the hell's happening?
Look at this guy! I just want to see his perspective. Wait a minute. I want to see his fucking perspective.
Does he know what his spells do?
I'm at a loss. Just.
Wait, is he playing so zoomed in? What is this?
This is normal. This is normal of you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my.
What was he thinking?
He thought he was out of range of the Zeus.
But like,
But
I
why
cannot-
would he think that?
I don't know.
for the healing.
You know, the level 1 healing word, it's gonna make a difference. And then he doesn't even micro it!
He's the most fired up I've ever seen.
Alright,
I'm pretty
there goes
sure
that
that's
lead,
like,
right? There goes
I'm
that
gonna say,
entire
I'm pretty sure that's like
fucking
linked back in the game and Jug like dumpster.
I mean, like, seriously, it's just so dumb. He had the freest lane of his entire fucking career, I'm sure. Like, just the absolute freest lane that you can possibly imagine. And this is what he does with it. 2 stupid back-to-back deaths because he can't press Q. Unbelievable. Just don't do stupid stuff like that. I shouldn't even have to tell you guys that. Like, I feel like you're so far past this idiot. Like, God.
I don't even believe how that happens because I feel like if you're playing Jug, you just panic click Q all the time.
I know, right?
I feel like that's like the natural reaction is to be like, I'm taking damage, and even if it's not magical, sometimes you're just like, Q!
Hold on. For this,
Alright.
I remember...
Oh, yeah, I remember. So, Brandon, what do you have Chronosphere on? Is it quick cast or regular cast? I'm just curious. Can you check for me real quick?
It's regular cast.
Brandon,
It is?
Do you have anything on quick cast? That's
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I
How do
definitely
you
could have gotten the Oracle.
How do you regular cast this? How do you regular cast? I thought it was quick cast. Honestly.
The Death Prophet, the Enigma, and the Oracle.
You could have definitely gotten all three. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I meant, to be honest, I wasn't looking at the Oracle, I don't think. I was looking at the Enigma, and I meant
Can
to
we go
catch
to
him right
player
on the
perspective?
outside.
Yeah.
It's just hard to
That's it.
see because of his black hole. I don't know
Yeah,
how
that's
close
it.
that is to him.
I think we saw everything here. We have ward on the Highland.
We knew it was coming, and then it was just like...
I'm not
It
going
looks
to
like
lie.
you're quick casting it. It looks
Not
like
my-
you're quick
Not my
quick
best
casting.
Chronosphere. I don't know, maybe I just got fast fingers.
Fastest fingers in the east.
It's definitely not my best Chronosphere. Oh boy. Yeah, then this guy lives after, which is a little...
No, he ends up dying because I show
He
up.
ends up dying, but at this point we're like, oh, this guy didn't die immediately. And then I probably killed Zach.
Fine.
Oh god, yeah, no, it feels
And
bad.
And
you
the
think the one stuck there.
The Oracle was stuck inside the secret shop because of my ult.
Yeah, if you're able to, I'm telling you, just take like that extra 0.01 seconds to like aim the Chronosphere a little bit easier, and I think you get it like a triple Chronosphere and just stomp the team fight. But yeah, that was just like
Triple Chronosphere
I just
and
wanted
kill them
to
all.
I just wanted to
They're
clarify
all
because
dead.
if you have ultimates like that, like Mars ult doesn't really matter so much, but like Faceless
Fuck
Void
you,
ultimate,
Dad.
shut up. If you have Chronosphere on quick cast, you're gonna fuck those up so much. Just put it on regular cast. Take the extra like 0.1 second to like actually aim it, and it'll feel 1,000 times better. But since you already have it on there, whatever, we can move on. Okay, let's see. What's my next one? 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. Okay, first time saying it. Stop diving. I said it last game. I'll say it again. Don't dive under the tier tower. Tier 2 or tier 3 or tier 4. Doesn't matter. Just don't dive for kills, please. Like, let me just show how ridiculous. It's amazing enough that you guys get out of here. It's like even more amazing that you actually get the kill on him. But like, okay, first off, kind of save the carapace for the interaction with Mortimer's kisses.
Yeah.
Second
I
off,
know.
don't dive under the tier 2 tower. Just if everyone runs away, at most they get like one of these kills. Let me just rewind so I can emphasize this. Even after kind of whiffing this, the carapace, even after whiffing this, if everyone just delta splits, Void's never going to die to this no matter what. He's got time lock in a couple of seconds. But if you guys just delta split right here, at most, one of you die. But there's no way to cancel.
In theory, if we both crash on the snap, neither of us die necessarily. We get everything off again.
Nah.
Their whole team came in though. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
and Nyx still doesn't. Well, maybe Nyx does because he has an invis. Do they have any detection? They do.
No.
No, you die no matter
They-
what. Yeah, you
They
die no
do,
matter
but do you
what.
think they're gonna pay attention enough to use it based on previous what has
No,
just been
but
happening?
you shouldn't
Good
be
players,
relying
but-
on.
No,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a terrible
You should-
way to think.
Exactly.
Stop thinking
Yes.
like
Yes.
enemies
100.
are
Thank
idiots.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I've been trying to tell them this whole time. Just because it works doesn't mean it's a good play, and that needs to be emphasized for a lot of these things. There's still a lot to learn about from these games because even The problem is the wrong decision works, and so you guys might think it's a good decision when it's absolutely not. Like diving under that tier 4 tower and giving up kills on Brandon's Bloodseeker. Totally wrong decision! Stop diving! Just don't do it, especially in this patch. But it worked out, so it's like maybe you wouldn't have thought twice about it otherwise. Please, there will be games where it'll be game-losing to do stuff like that. Alright, so... let's see, 16 minutes... Oh, yeah, okay, so I think this is on Mark. It's like, again, I don't want to shit-talk Mark too much. It's not really his fault. But it's like, yeah, I think everyone already chastised you for this anyways.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's right. I clicked him, right?
Yeah. Don't
it was
just...
completely greedy. Yeah.
Super greedy. It's...
I even, like,
we talked about this whole thing in game.
Yeah,
and then
okay,
after
perfect.
that, I'm pretty sure...
It's miraculous that he actually turned back around and got stunned anyways, but it's like... Yeah, just...
That's just like a bad habit I have on Nyx,
Yeah.
'cause I always get... But it's never worth it.
No.
Like,
never.
unless you need the break.
Right,
or
unless
whatever.
you need the break, or unless you need the damage for some reason, and you have
Like,
like
level 1, the damage is, like, not even that much. It's maybe, like, 100 or something. It's not even worth it.
250, but
Okay.
really the only time that you're going to use this damage is if you have a stun already. So, like, if Mars gets a spear off onto this little white tree over here behind him, and then you're coming to follow up, if you have time to use Vendetta damage, great, go for it. Because then you can always follow up with the Impale and have it guaranteed to hit no matter what. But if you don't, you almost always want to open up with Impale. Unless you're against something like a fucking Huskar or something like that.
Right.
But yeah. I think Huskar is like one of the few situations where you want to use that Vendetta before.
Bristleback.
Bristleback too, yeah, you're right. Who else can you think of? I think
Maybe
that's...
PA.
Spectre.
Do you have,
PA.
It's really just, like, the
Check on-
defensive passives.
Yeah. Just the ones that you really need to break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dragonite maybe. Alright, so...
What? Where's Jug?
Oh, yeah, Jug's
Dynamite.
just being a complete
Jug's...
I mean,
card.
he was the Weaver. We saw what this Weaver like doing.
Hey, heck, I just sat in my ult and like was like, I'll still take the tower.
Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so down here, like, the Jug just played...
I remember here. I was
Yeah.
screaming.
Okay.
This entire like not here. It's coming up.
A?
But like this.
Yeah. Oh god. Just don't dive. Don't dive underneath this tower. Just don't. It's so much more important now too. Like it's 10 times more important than before because it's gonna have 50% more of that impact than it did before. Just don't dive. You need to play more conservatively, especially when you're ahead. Oh god, yeah, I can't stress that enough right now. The current meta is just so contingent on getting these kills that if you overextend and die like once or twice, you're gonna lose the game now because they get the opportunity to make things happen once they get all that comeback golden experience. It's ridiculous now. Do not dive. You need to play more conservatively now. This was really good positioning by Nyx though. Sitting outside of that tier 2, you know you have vision. You know that they don't. Being a scout, basically. This is what you have to do. This is what you see a lot of high-level Nyx is doing, is playing much more forward on the hero and being a scout, doing things like breaking smoke and making this entire movement completely worthless for them. Which is great.
It needs Enigma.
Yeah, the Enigma is just, god, they're all playing just so tilted. Just bad.
This is where we get to.
Yeah, this...
Coming up is where we get to Urgent yelling.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's working out.
No, not here. Not here.
Oh, no, it's Brandon! Brandon was the one that I wanted to get mad at. Brandon!
I forgot about this.
Brandon! What are you doing? What are you
I
doing?
forgot about DP.
And then you
I was
even
like,
masked
oh, no.
before ulting! Oh, god. Don't dive! I can't stress it enough. Stop diving! Don't dive! Just hit the towers!
700 or 650 gold.
650 to the fucking death profit!
Okay. I think I chastised Brandon in the middle of the game for this as well.
He deserves it! This is one of the few times where he deserves it! Oh my god! Don't! High ground, no! No vision, no! Diving, no! Just don't do it anymore. Because these are huge kills that are like, that you're giving them. That's a 900 gold swing.
Oh, and then
it happened, and then the jug died, and I was like, how did
Jugs...
Jug just die without Brandon?
he made down, but
Does he have spin there? He better not have spin there.
No, he didn't. Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Yeah, right.
and here, that.
God
Oh,
damn.
right. Yeah.
Hold on.
This is when Urchin was yelling.
This is
at me.
Urgent
Oh, yeah.
yelling.
I could have glanced him like way back
He's
here.
like 5 seconds ago.
Wait, it's stunned!
No, this is what it's like. Kill her! Go! Help me! Kill her! Right now! Go! Oh God! I can just see Urgent screaming his head off right there. Oh my God!
I was in full retreat.
Unbelievable! I fucking love this.
Hold on, wait, can you rewind it? That was an interesting interaction with the spear and the glimpse.
Oh my God! Where? Oh, was it further
Rewind
back?
it further.
Yeah,
It was the
Yeah,
Death
it's
Prophet.
when I
before.
glimpsed after we walked dragon.
What? The fuck?
Whoa, that's awesome.
That's weird.
Edge first, then get
No.
teleport back.
So
That's
the spear
weird.
was still in her when she got glimpsed back, so it
Oh.
hit against the tree.
Oh. No, that's not a tree. That's just the wall.
Yeah, I
no.
can't actually tell what she speared to, whether it's...
She speared
No,
to the
there's
wall.
a tree
The
right
wall?
there. There's a tree
there's
right
not.
there.
That's not a tree.
No.
There's no tree
Yeah,
here.
that's a tree.
There's no tree
There's a
here.
tree right there.
There's
Behind the
literally no
flag.
tree here.
Where the
Behind
DK
the
was...
flag there is, but look where she got speared at. There's no tree on this high ground right here. There's no tree on this high ground. Look where the spear stops. It's right here.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's
weird.
the animation that.
Maybe it's an animation.
I think how it works is he still have the pushing after he gets the.
Oh, once he
and
finishes the
he
glimpse.
hit the tree that where he.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just a
It could be either of them. I actually have no clue
very
what it is.
strange interaction. God, oh my God.
It's a
Fucking-
goodbye, Cole Cancel.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely coming back. Oh God, I could just see Urchin screaming the entire time this is happening.
Now I can have like half more health.
Alright,
That
so-
use his ability earlier.
Right, so you thought that Brandon was worth a lot? Just imagine how much Urgent would have been worth.
Oh no,
Urgent has a
joke.
bigger
10 and
kill.
0, 10 and 0. Oh my God, that's like 1,000 gold or more.
Over
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah, definitely.
Urgent cannot die.
Well, he does.
Is there? Have you seen anything in your games, or I don't know, in anything where like are people like denying those streaks in any way?
No, you can't. Not even
You can't
neutrals.
deny the
No,
streaks?
not even neutrals or anything like that. If you like
you deny it?
Feed yourself early.
feed yourself to a tower, I guess, or like, yeah, I don't. You just gotta play
Feed
more.
yourself to the
You just
support.
gotta change your play style, honestly, when you get
Yeah.
these big streaks. Like, you can't really play. You can't do anything like next level like that because it's like you don't want to. You're missing out on almost a minute of farming if you do that, and it's just not worth it. Yeah, all you gotta do is really adjust your play style. All right, 20 minutes, good rotations. Went and got that. All right, let's skip ahead 23 minutes. That's the next part. Because like I saw what you guys were doing over 23 minutes, but somebody has to react. I don't care who it is, but someone has to react to an Enigma just blinking into the middle of you. You can't just like Delta split and hope that he won't go on anyone. Let me see. It's forward about a minute. Right? Okay, no, here it is. Yeah, right here. So like right here, somebody has to do something. Nyx can't do it because he used his spells. So it's up to either Mars or Zeus or Disruptor. You gotta do something. Someone has to use their spells. Right here, I would have liked to see like just instantaneously Disruptor, just drop the Static Storm, drop the Kinetic Field, make sure that he can't get anything off. I don't even know why he's blinking forward. He doesn't have Black Hole. Like,
This guy's level 25 Enigma.
This is the level 25 Enigma play. You
He's
blink
blinking
for it,
forward
let
into
you
you
have
guys.
black hole and make everyone delta split.
I don't understand.
I think he was trying to bait like one of our ultimates so they could fight immediately after.
He's just.
Because look at the Oracle and Snappfire's positioning. They were expecting to be able to save him.
I want to see his
After
player perspective to see if he's like trying to spam R or something like that. I just want to see like if he keeps clicking on the ground after he puts down the what's it called, Midnight Pulse. This guy is high as a fucking kite. I'm telling you. He is. There it is. He did. He did. He did right there. Right there. He fucking clicked right on the middle of the Midnight Pulse like he was gonna have a black hole. What is he doing?
Oh god.
Oh my.
Numbers
fucking
are hard.
God.
Numbers are hard.
Oh god.
And then it comes up, but he has no health.
Yeah, so it's like somebody has to react to him. You can't just like do this holding your spells, because the result of that is like now you die without using Static Storm, whereas you can use it on the Enigma. And even if like he gets saved by the Oracle, well now Mars has his skills, and now Mars can use his stuff a little bit more effectively than the alternative of or what happened. So I mean, and it all compounds on itself too. Actually, I want to see how much your scored there. 1,062. God fucking damn. Yeah, it's like just the kill streaks are retarded now. This is gonna get changed within like a month. I hope.
I don't think so. I think this is the new norm.
I hope not.
Because before the
This
game,
is
like
fine.
if you one team had a strong lead, even if you had like got a pick off on like on a support or anything, and they had like a minor spree, it still wouldn't give you that much.
Yeah.
Now it's like
It's
pickoffs are really important.
It does kind of stop snowbally stuff. Like,
Yeah.
It makes it so that there are comebacks. Like comebacks can definitely happen if you get a good pickoff.
I don't think it should be. I think maybe you could like adjust it a little bit. Like if the color
it
version
definitely
was
needs
even
to.
worth like 600
Even
gold,
more,
like
yeah,
it
like
probably
6 or
would still
7,
be
like.
quite relevant. 1,000
But
seems
it's not
kind of-
retarded. Yeah, it's just you got so lucky here. I don't even.
The funny
You got
part.
so lucky, unbelievable lucky. Like.
And I remember that happened. Ursha was like, or Lincoln was like, "I got the kill for you, Brandon."
Oh yeah! Oh! Lincoln got the kill for you. Oh my god. That's funny. Yeah. So actually, I wanted to say something. Like, I thought this was the wrong decision at first, but now it's like looking back, I see like maybe it was right.
Looking back, you mean after I explained it? Excuse me,
Well, it's like it's hard because I don't know. Like, I mean, she's down to like 200 move speed and she's getting stunned up, but it's like, yes, her ulti's all on you. Yes, and the big thing for me is she still has Spirit Siphon, so I think it's totally fine for you to chrono her, honestly. Because, like, I don't know, maybe you die if she gets a Spirit Siphon off on you.
Yeah, I think it's. I honestly thought
Just
he
so
might
you can-
die in the chrono.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
when it
because
happening.
Jug was also
I
right
a bit-
behind him, spinning on him.
Yeah, so that's totally
My thing is,
fine.
especially with Ursian dead, what's it called? Like before they were like kind of underleveled. They're like DP and Jug. Now they're like even higher level than us, like for that gauge.
Yeah. No, so I think it's totally fine for you to chrono that. Yeah, just ignore what I was gonna say, because yeah, I think that's.
I still think if he
I
get
think-
the sun,
One of the things that I was really impressed with this game, Brandon, was how you were very, very cognizant of holding Chronosphere until you really needed to use it. And I think that's very, very good. You're definitely improving and holding your skills much better than you were before. It's just some very demonstrable performance improvements. I really wanted to highlight that for this particular game, because I think you just played phenomenally. As far as doing that goes, better than I would even. I don't think I would have held Chrono in some certain situations where you did. You got away with it, so I mean, who am I to tell you were wrong? But yeah,
It's
so
the power of the
What
three
is
circles of
happening?
death.
they're just going full retard. Like, they don't even
The circles of
try.
death.
They don't even try to avoid all the spells. They just kind of sit and I'm like this out. Well, I guess that happened. Can't do anything. Like, God, it's just sickening to watch. Just so clueless. Yeah, I didn't even put anything. I just was like, God damn, they're pegging so hard.
You didn't put anything because you just didn't care anymore.
It's
I asked you to look at it.
What do you even say to that? They're just being retarded. They're all like, there's no reason for Enigma to be up there. There's no reason for the supports to be right fucking next to each other holding their asses. Like, I don't even know. But no, this is good. Get 3 kills, rotate onto an objective. Doesn't matter what it is. Could have been tier 2, could have been Roche, but Roche is fine, I think, because now you can go and end the game. Totally acceptable. Really like what you guys are doing, because I feel like there's a little bit more of a sense of urgency to your play now. It's like you get something, and now it needs some work, but at least you're in that mindset. All right, we need to get something done. Like, something needs to happen now. It's not like that leisurely kind of strolling around the map that used to happen. So it's good. It's very, very good. Let's see, what else? 26. What is Zach doing? Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
What am I doing?
What is Zach doing? Alright, let's go see. Alright, for this... 26 minutes, so we got a little bit more time. Oh, I remember now. Okay, I remember. No, we're not gonna follow around Zach. We're gonna see. We're gonna have a little bit of. Let's even slow this down.
I was thinking back at this point, and I saw they won the team fight.
Mr. Zach.
When you wait that long to use O?
I didn't even use it.
No.
I just glimpsed.
Yeah, that's a little question. Why?
Why? Why, Zach?
Skill usage. Just remember skill usage. You always want to, especially as a support, if you can get your skills off in like an efficient manner, 2 people I think is completely acceptable. Because now look, once you TP in, I just want to show you. I want to pause it and show. Once you TP in, before the jug goes, okay, this is just hang on a second. Let me just do this nice and easy. Alright, let me see. Okay, Blade Fury comes up. It's gonna spin right now. 3, 2,
Enigma
1,
BKB
and
or
stop.
No,
Sorry?
no BK.
No, he doesn't have
Enigma
BKB. No BKBs or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
alright, as soon as you TP in, if you canceled out this, Mars lives here. 100%.
Yeah.
You can
So-
cancel too, and Juggernaut cannot blink.
No, Juggernaut could blink because he was Blade Fury, so it wouldn't damage him at all.
Yeah. But he might be stupid.
He might be stupid. But yeah, you definitely should have ulted that right there.
Yeah.
Just to cancel it or anything
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, just
Cancel 2 ults.
you could have canceled 2 ultis, yeah, pretty much. And then your team wouldn't have taken nearly as much damage. Just if you can get those off, just use them, spam them out, throw them out. It doesn't matter because there's no better time to do it.
Yeah, I think I just need to practice Disruptor more. I
Definitely.
still feel a little
It's a
bit
very-
like uncomfortable
it's a
playing the hero.
crazy
and, like,
strong
using the
hero.
ult. Yeah.
Alright, going forward, you guys farm up all these items, go rotate. Perfect. We're just gonna skip ahead a little bit. Oh, he can peg it out again. No surprise. Alright. So, 32. Yeah, basically, it's like. You guys are just running him down now. It's just snowballing at what, a little bit after another. They're not really doing anything. I thought Brandon was insane at first, and then I realized he had Aegis. Just want to point that out. Great
we were in
blink
a
forward,
call.
actually. Really good blink forward from you, prioritizing that Oracle, because that's what you needed. As soon as you see him, just kill him. Yeah, good.
In the call, I hear Dev going, no, God, no, why, no, back out! And then the Aegis pops, oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, so that's fine. You guys get that for an Aegis, that's totally good. Perfect, TPing back to the lane, clearing that out as quickly as possible. Don't bother going into the jungle, just keep pushing it out. Yeah, no. Alright.
F.
So runes, just focus the runes a little bit more around that 30 minutes. But you guys were there around this one, but not so much that one. That's still there. Even after you saw it, but well, it's whatever. You're gonna try and get kills. And then, so yeah, pushing out these waves, trying to, I guess, okay, so Urgent does that, that's fine, You can try and go for kills, totally okay. Then yeah, just push out this lane, make sure that you're not just playing musical lanes with the Juggernaut, letting him just split push you and continue on. Which
this Jug was the Weaver last game, right?
Yeah, he's just...
It felt like he played the same way both games. It was just like every time he tried to push, he was in a lane.
farming.
It resulted in him dying way more as the Jug than as the Weaver.
He's not good, I'm telling you.
He got to his rank probably because he knew he can farm well, but he doesn't know when to fight. He doesn't know how to build for fighting.
Mechanics, I'm telling you, like Dota, up until Divine, it can all just be summed up into mechanics. If you've got godly mechanics, but you have no game sense, you can still get up to Divine, but you're not going to go any further than that. It's like, you could be fucking Sumail, as far as his mechanics go, but you're still only going to get up to, like, Divine Low Immortal.
I mean, that's this Jug.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's low Divine, because, I mean, I'm sure he's got good mechanics, right? He understands... Ooh, wow. He understands how to get kills in his lanes, how the interactions between heroes work, sure. But after that, he doesn't know anything. So it's like, you can get to Divine off that if you snowball off your lane hard enough constantly. It's fine, but you're not going to go anywhere else if you can't understand timing and items and playing with your team and making the most of your build and making the most of your lane. Yeah, this was fantastic. Just fucking sick.
It's pretty much game over. I was like, how many...
Yeah.
And he like dove in there, I was like, whoa, and then I was like, how many people just got caught in that chrono?
Yeah, then
He just want to kill me, that Juggernaut. I don't know why. I didn't do anything.
He liked you, man. He liked you. Oh yeah, you did. You got him those first 2 deaths.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Alright, so
I'm
that was...
not easy, you know.
Alright, so besides that, okay, so we've had about a pretty similar time. I just want to quickly go over something now. Now that Spectral Stats is updated for this patch, it hasn't been for the last few days. I'm gonna stream this momentarily. Team chat Discord. Here we go. Alright. Swap to your game to resume. Alright, can you guys see this?
No.
It's loading, it's loading.
Okay.
Yeah, it's loading.
Tell me when it's loaded on. Stream pause, swap to your game to resume.
Wait,
What the heck?
You have to do... you have to share your screen, not the game.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try and screen share that. Stream Endeavor 2, go... What do I press? Go live?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you should be
there
able
we
to
go.
choose
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
going
I see,
live.
I see. No, it still says swap to your game to resume. Is this it? Nope, it's not letting me.
There's a button that changes the...
Okay, fuck it. You know what?
I think we have to go. I think we have to go into a call.
No, don't bother. Just go to team chat. Everyone, everyone click on team chat. I put it right there. This is what I want you to see. So far, if you just click this one little button, it's going to bring you to the map, or the match with the all of the heroes and everything. Go down between records and regions. The third one, press heroes, and then go over to, let me see, picks and bands.
Position.
No, picks and bands. Yeah.
Picks and bands.
Yep. So this is going to show you a list in order of the most effective picks so far in this particular meta for all Immortal games that have been played. Any Immortal game that's been played, it's recorded in this database. So it's going to show you all of the top heroes that have the best win rates, have the most impact, and are the most contested. It's going to show you the contest rate. You can sort by it. The highest one is going to be Snapfire. Obviously, it's still a fucking busted hero. Next one is going to be PLs, just a solid carry. Huskar, Meepo, Void Spirit is another one. Like, just very, very meta, very contested heroes that everybody wants on their team, constantly. The other thing you're going to look at is win rate, obviously. It's one of the easiest indicators of if something's completely busted or not, if it has a really, really good win rate. So far, Lycan is looking like one of the strongest carries in this current patch. Meepo, last pick, is just absolutely disgusting, and it always will be. Weaver carry is also another one that is absolutely insane right now. They fixed all of his mana issues for the most part, and so he doesn't need like these crazy items to fix it, like bottle or tons of mangoes and stuff like that. He seems much more manageable and much more impactful in the early and can snowball harder than he ever could before. So this should give you don't have to go out and learn brand new heroes like Chen and crap like that, or like even Visage. I think this is just too few matches to actually tell if he's good or not. I think Visage is trash. But this...
I think under 500 matches, it's like
it's
not
just totally
a big sample
unreliable.
pool.
Yeah, it's totally unreliable.
Like 500 matches is a valid like sample pool.
Yeah,
to
like
determine.
Darkseer, Chaos Knight. I don't think they're particularly good heroes. I think
Darkseer. Darkseer has been picked up
maybe.
a couple times in the We Save tournament.
Yeah, but like 100 games of Chaos Knight, I don't think the hero's particularly broken or anything. I think people are just picking it in really good Chaos Knight games and then getting like a above average win rate. I think you could do a better hero most times, but this will give you at least a good idea of where to start in the current patch, what heroes to be prioritizing. So this is what I want you guys to look over in your own time. Just kind of give it a glance, maybe refresh your hero pool, or like start learning some new heroes that you see up top, like Lycan or Weaver. Beastmaster is another one that's been kind of seeing a little bit of play. Lone Druid especially, keep up on him. He's still being played a lot. Yeah, this will just give you a really solid base. So with that, I think I'm pretty much done with the session. Does anyone have any questions?
No, you're just reminding me watching that Enigma game that the greatest lane ever was Enigma Lich back when you could deny two creeps in the lane.
That's
I played that lane a couple
disgusting.
times with my friends, and it's just like you don't even need to be good at Dota if you
Yep.
can take away half their
Oh,
experience in the lane.
No, that was like back when Lone Druid was like really, really popular too. The right-click Lone Druid, Sniper Druid. And it's like the only lane I ever had trouble with was when I got like a fucking Enigma Lich, and they slowed down my game